In this video, I'm going to experiment with different ways of changing your state. This is something self-helpy people talk about a lot. The idea is that you can do some kind of quick practice or routine or exercise that will re-energize you, break your negative mental patterns, and improve your mood, turning you into a productivity machine. Well, I wanted to see if these things actually work or if this is all a bunch of crap. I picked 3 different practices for changing your state from some of my favorite books and podcasts. I got something from Tony Robbins, something from the book Make Time. I'm gonna do these practices at the time of the day when I'm feeling the most crappy, the most overwhelmed with work, when my brain is fried, I don't feel like doing anything, when I'm the most lazy, and we'll see if it makes any kind of difference.
Learning how to change your state to go from pissed off, frustrated, freaked out to back in your center, or creative, or determined, or something that's gonna move you forward. It's gonna create a better quality of life for you and others. That's a critical skill set.
So I think what's so intriguing to me about this idea of changing your state is that we all have responsibilities, we all have families, we have bills to pay. Most of us spend the entire day working on stuff that we don't care about. And then the stuff that we really do care about gets pushed to the nights and weekends. But the problem is when the nights and weekends roll around, we're too tired to get anything done. You have no energy. All you feel like doing is sitting around, maybe watching Netflix, scrolling on your phone. So what if you could use some kind of technique to put yourself into a productive, energized state and unlock all of those wasted hours in your day? That's what I'm interested in testing, because this could be life-changing for all of us. Okay, the time has come. I'm feeling pretty exhausted. I'm gonna go try to change my state. And this first technique I'm gonna do is from the man himself, Tony Robbins. So this is what he calls his priming technique. Supposedly this is what he uses to change his state before he goes on stage in front of thousands of people.
I have this deal with myself called priming. Every day I say, look, I'm not gonna hope I feel good. I just got back 6 countries in 12 days. I was in India 2 days ago.
Wow.
And I woke up here wanting, feeling like somebody ran me over with a truck.
But you got yourself psyched up.
But the way I did it is I do this process. It's 10 minutes, I put some music on, I do this massive change in my breathing so it radically changes the way I feel. We all want to be able to change the way we feel, and that's what I spend my life showing people how to do. And what most people don't know is emotion is created by motion. The way you move determines the way you feel.
Yeah, so the technique consists of 4 different elements. So the first thing is you go out on a walk, and you're walking for about 5 minutes, and you combine that with a breathing routine. The breathing routine is 4 inhales through your nose and then 4 exhales through your mouth. So it's like this. So you go out on your 5-minute walk with that sort of breathing. After the 5 minutes or 10 minutes, if you want to do it longer, then you do a gratitude practice.
When you're grateful, you can't be worried. You can't be fearful. When you're grateful, you can't be angry. And anger and fear are what screw people up most.
And then you switch into visualizing the things that you're working towards, the things that you want. And you visualize it as if you've already achieved it. And then you're almost like grateful for it at the same time. And then you go into what Tony Robbins calls incantations, which is kind of like a positive affirmation. You incorporate these incantations in with your breath. So you'd go do the 4 breaths in, 4 breaths out, like he said, and you say something like, I love my life. You know, the way Tony Robbins said, I love my life. You say it with enthusiasm. There's power in the spoken word. So he'll go out and go, I love my life. I love my life. Whew, I'm getting pumped up just doing that. Let's go. Okay, so I just went out and did the Tony Robbins Priming Technique, and it was awesome. So when I first left, I took my dog and I took the camera because I was hoping to get some shots. I walk a lot with Lucy. It feels weird to go on a walk without my pup. So I headed out, and then I ended up coming back because my dog was stopping to smell stuff too much, and the camera, it just didn't feel like I was giving it a true shot. So I took Lucy back, I took the camera back, and I just went off on my own. So I put on some battle music. It's like gaming battle music playlist on Spotify. And I headed out and I was walking really fast. It was like an aggressive walk. It was like the kind of walk that you do if you're gonna go confront the neighbor for hurting your kid or something, like that kind of aggressive walk with my battle music playing. It's hot outside, and I'm going through this breathing of the 4 breaths out, 4 breaths in, and started to feel really good. So usually if I'm feeling really confident or really excited, I find that I'm walking really fast. If I'm going into a store or if I'm at the gym, I'm walking fast. And so I think this practice is a good way of almost using your body to trick your mind into creating a state. And that's exactly what Tony Robbins talks about. They're like, you walk fast and then that kind of triggers your mind. It's the whole idea that motion creates emotion. I started to genuinely feel those feelings of like confident, excited, aggressive. And I think an aggressive state is a good thing for going out and like, you know, tackling the stuff that you want to do. Then I started in on the gratitude, trying to really immerse myself in the moments where I felt really grateful. There was a moment where I felt like I was trying to hijack my own mind. Like, in our regular state, our mind is not our own. Like, our thoughts are just like going all over the place. And in this practice, it's like you're grabbing hold of your mind and your thoughts and like intentionally putting your thoughts where you want them to go. So the gratitude puts you in like a happier, optimistic place. And then you get into the visualization where you're thinking about the things that you want to achieve. And this does a really good job of like focusing your mind and kind of fighting the fears and the little worries that we all have, because you're focused on and thinking about your long-term goals and what you want to do. I didn't end up doing the affirmations because I was walking around my neighborhood and there's like a ton of people outside and I felt weird, okay? So I'm gonna have to give that a try another day, but overall, the whole thing took me 11 minutes. So 11 minutes to take back control of your mind and put yourself in a positive, optimistic, productive, aggressive state. I would say it's a success. It's time to try another technique. I'm gonna do a micro workout. This is something from the book, Make Time. This book is pretty cool. It's written by Jake Knapp and John Zarowski. They're both product designers. And the cool thing is that they're dads and they were suddenly faced with this challenge of managing their time. This is basically the premise of the book. So they talk about this 4-step process for making time for yourself. Highlight, you write down one thing that you're focusing on for the day. Laser, they list out a ton of ways that you can beat distraction. Reflect is adjust and improve your system every day. So you're keeping track of like what's working for you, kind of documenting it. And then energize, take care of your body, recharge your brain. So this energize piece, this is what we're talking about today. So the book isn't even really meant to be read from start to finish. It's more just these tactics that you can go through and kind of pick and choose what works for you. Today we're going to talk about this energize tactics and specifically talking about keep it moving. So they have a section on exercise every day, pave the poundment. Wow. Inconvenience yourself, and then squeeze in a super short workout. Do as many push-ups as possible in one set, then rest a minute. Then as many squats as possible in one set, then rest 1 minute. Then as many lifts, pull-ups, curls, whatever, as possible in one set, then rest 1 minute. This is exactly what I was looking for in a way to change your state and re-energize you to do something productive. I got my heart rate up. I was out of my head. I was breathing hard. I didn't sweat too much. I got my mind off of the mundane cycle that I was in, kind of thinking about work and things that I want to buy and plan. I found that I wasn't thinking about time or how much time I have, which is a really good sign. That's usually something that's like constantly running through my mind. I felt excited and ready to go. I'm really fighting the urge to just lay down on this couch and take a nap. It's Saturday afternoon, it's 3:30, and I feel like doing nothing. So the technique that I'm trying today is a Wim Hof breathing exercise. And the reason that I picked this exercise is, one, I've done it before. So I did it, it's been like a couple of years, but I remember having some pretty crazy experiences as far as like changing my physiology and kind of having some weird moments. I remember doing it one time and feeling like there was an ocean inside my body. I know, weird, but I was laying on the ground going through this breathing exercise and I felt like this weird swaying in my body. So I think it can be effective for changing your state, but I guess the real reason that I chose this is that this type of breathing boosts your adrenaline, which can put you in a state of readiness.
Wim Hof type breathing. So what we call in the laboratory cyclic hyperventilation. So inhale, exhale 25 times. Forceful inhales and forceful exhales. Then hold your breath, lungs empty for 15 seconds, repeat for about 3 rounds. What does that do? Why do you heat up? Adrenaline. It's such a generic thing. It's adrenaline. You could have gotten into an ice bath. Adrenaline. You could have someone shout in your face. Adrenaline. It's just adrenaline. Testosterone makes effort feel good. Adrenaline puts us into a mode of readiness. Dopamine puts us into a mode of motivation.
So this is the video that I'm going to be doing. It's the Wim Hof with Lewis Howes, he's the School of Greatness guy. And the reason that I like this one is he guides Lewis through this breathing exercise, and you can kind of follow along. In the past, I've done this and been able to hold my breath for close to 3 minutes towards the end of it. So we'll see how this goes.
Don't hold back. Just go with the flow. It's chemistry, and you are dealing with that consciously. Here he comes. Fully in, letting go. And squeeze a little to the head, because it's nice. Feels good.
Okay, so I ended up doing this type of breathing exercise again because I didn't feel the adrenaline boost I was expecting. I felt relaxed, similar to how you'd feel after like a good meditation session. So I tried again without the guided video and had similar results. All right. The breathing is actually like pretty hard. Like it's kind of taxing to try to like breathe that hard. I got really cold, and it might be just because like my basement's pretty freezing with the AC blasting in the summer. But yeah, you get like tingly fingers. It feels weird, but I'm not feeling like a massive change of state. I feel good, but I didn't feel like energized. So my experience with cyclic hyperventilation practice, I just like saying that. It's way more fun than Wim Hof breathing. I would say for changing your state to be productive, to get stuff done, not super effective, just in my experience. Okay, takeaways. What did I learn? What am I gonna change moving forward? First is that it definitely works. You can change your state and go from not feeling it to full-on productive beast mode with a short practice or routine. What was the best method for me? The micro workout and the fast walking with gratitude both got the job done. They were both great. It kind of depends on what your mood is and what activity you're changing your state for. Some other ways that I didn't experiment with are like cold water, doing an ice bath or a cold shower. And it just kind of seemed like an ordeal to me. Another is sprinting. So I was actually gonna say don't do sprinting because you get too sweaty and it's just not practical. You could get injured, but I actually did it. It was 90 degrees outside. I was in jeans and I didn't get that hot, and it definitely worked to change my state. So the sprinting is good too, but I feel like it's harder to get out and sprint than it is to just like drop down and do push-ups and then squats and then, you know, lift some kind of lifting movement. So play around with it, find what works best for you. The thing is, it has to be very short. When I go to the gym, I come back and I have that, you know, my state is changed and I feel great and I'm feeling like in productive mode, but it takes 2 hours. It's like the whole ordeal, you know, taking my pre-workout, driving to the gym, driving back. So it has to be something faster than that, especially if you're like me and you work full time, you have a family. The time that you have to work on your side stuff is very limited. So you'd spend the entire time changing your state, going to the gym or, you know, doing this long practice. Marcus Aurelius in the book Meditations said people try to get away from it all, to the country, to the beach, to the mountains. You always wish you could too, which is idiotic. You can get away from it anytime you like by going within. Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul. So keep getting away from it all like that. Renew yourself, but keep it brief and basic. A quick visit should be enough to ward off all and send you back ready to face what awaits you. Overall, I was very impressed with these different methods and this idea of changing your state. It's something I'm going to continue doing moving forward because you actually can break out of this feeling of not wanting to do anything, of being too exhausted. At the end of the day, you know, you've worked all day, you spend some time with your family, make dinner, finally put the kids down. That feeling right there when you feel like doing nothing, but it's 8 p.m. and you could spend 2 hours working on your stuff that you're always talking about. In those moments, when I'm feeling that, I'm definitely gonna try some kind of method to change my state. Try to draw on the lessons from this video. Let me know what works for you guys. What do you do in those moments when you're feeling that? How do you get unstuck? How do you get re-energized when you're just not feeling it? Thank you guys so much for watching, for supporting the channel. Please subscribe if you're not already, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.